Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Applioi.
And I am Vivian Uguche.
Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. And now to the headlines. President Tinubu appoints board chairpersons for 42 parastatals.
Senate committee lists retired generals, other elite as illegal minors.
245 passengers escaped death as U.S.-bound plane declares emergency returns to Lagos.
Government backing telcos for revenue, neglecting Nigerians, NLC.
Tinubu commends Finland for Simon Ekpa's arrest.
Well, in business news, first domestic dollar bond swells Nigeria's debt by 1.47 trillion naira.
In entertainment, why record labels aren't to blame for dispute with artists, says Odumodu Black.
Well, in sports news, a junior female Yellow Greens brace for Super 6. Now in the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has appointed board chairpersons for 42 federal organizations and a secretary to the Board of the Civil Defense, Immigration and Prisons Services. This was contained in a statement by Bayo Onanuga, the presidential spokesperson, on Friday. The president directed the board chairpersons not to interfere with the management of the organizations, emphasizing that their positions are non-executive. The appointments, which take effect immediately, has Hilad Ita from Cross River to serve as chairman, National Youth Service Corps under the Ministry of Youth Development, and Professor Bolaji Akinyemi from Lagos as chairman, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Abdullahi Ganduje from Kano as chairman, Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria under the Ministry of Aviation, and Senator Surajuddin Bashiru Ajibola from Oshun as chairman, National Sugar Development Council, among others.
Retired military generals and other influential Nigerians are involved in the illegal mining activities across the country, the chairman of Senate Committee on Interior, Senator Adams Oshomole, has claimed. Oshomole made the disclosure on Friday when the chairman of the Committee on Solid Minerals Development, Senator Samson Ekong, presented recommendations for the 2025 appropriation bill during Appropriation Committee's budget session. The former governor of Edo said these activities not only deny the nation of critical revenue, but also undermine efforts to diversify the economy. According to Oshomole, certain retired generals and their foreign collaborators sponsor illegal mining operations, arm miners, and use helicopters to extract and export gold and other valuable minerals. Blaming the federal government for not doing enough to address this, he stressed the issue goes beyond the surface, with those involved heavily organized and operate sophisticated systems. He further explained that they even use apps to coordinate operations, bringing in choppers to cut away gold, smuggling it out of the country, and making billions of dollars in the process.
And now a United States flag carrier, United Airlines flight UA613, outbound from Lagos to Washington, has declared an emergency and returned to Lagos. Several passengers and crew aboard the aircraft, a Boeing 7878, are reported to have sustained minor injuries. The flight, which had 245 passengers, 8 flight attendants, and 3 pilots, made a direct return to the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, while outbound over Ivory Coast airspace. According to one of the passengers who spoke under anonymity, the incident happened after they had unfastened their seatbelts. Clarifying the development, the airline said flight UA613 from Lagos to Washington, D.C. returned to Lagos to address a technical issue. It added that after landing safely, the aircraft was met by its first responders to address reports of minor injuries to several passengers and crew.
The Nigerian Labour Congress has said that the federal government is prioritizing revenue generation over the welfare of citizens by supporting the recent 50% increase in telecommunication tariffs. The tariff hike announced by the Nigerian Communications Commission on Monday will see MTN, Airtel, Glo, and 9Mobile charge more for calls and messages. The move, the first in 11 years, justified by the need for telcos to cover inflation and the high cost of operations of over 300%, has sparked outrage among citizens, with the NLC particularly calling for protest. Speaking today, the Nigerian Labour President Joe Ajaero criticized the government for aligning with telecom companies while Nigerians grapple with the rising cost of living. Ajaero, who leads a workforce earning less than $50 monthly as minimum wage, expressed concern that the government is neglecting its regulatory responsibilities and acting as though these private telecom companies are public enterprises. They warned that the tariff increase would disproportionately affect low-income earners, many of whom already struggle to cover basic living expenses.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu on Friday in Abuja welcomed the intervention of the Finnish government with the arrest and detention of Simon Ekpa, saying the government will not tolerate actions and statements that could lead to divisiveness among citizens. This is as the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Sana Selin, said that Ekpa has been hindering bilateral relations. President Tinubu spoke when he received the letters of credence from the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Selin, at the State House. He commended the Finnish authorities for the timely intervention that safeguarded the nation's integrity and mitigated an action that threatened peaceful coexistence.
The United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF has described as alarming the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria's northwest zone, with unenviable statistics from Katsina, Kano, and Jigawa states. According to the chief of UNICEF Field Office, Kano, Rahama Mohammed Farah, while northwest Nigeria has the second highest out-of-school rate in Nigeria, the situation of the out-of-school population in Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina states is alarming. He spoke on Friday in Kano during a briefing to mark the 2025 edition of the International Day of Education. The UN General Assembly in December 2018 declared January 24 as the International Day of Education. The theme of this year's celebration is AI and Education, Preserving Human Agency in the World of Automation. He noted that the situation in the three states is further exacerbated by poor learning outcomes for those children who are fortunate to be enrolled in school.
In the same vein, stakeholders in Edo State on Friday joined their counterparts across the globe in celebrating the 2025 edition of the International Day of Education. Now in its seventh edition, this year's edition celebrates the transformative power of education with the theme AI and Education, Preserving Human Agency in a World of Automation. Marking the occasion in Benin City, the Edo State capital, where stakeholders led by the chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Ornament Briggs. VOP TV's Godwin Kogos has more on the event.
Briggs described education as the cornerstone of human progress and a beacon of hope that illuminates minds and empowers individuals. According to Briggs, education transcends borders, cultures, and backgrounds and equips people with the knowledge, skills, and critical thinking abilities to navigate an ever-changing world. The state superb arrowhead said the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, is working with critical stakeholders to ensure that public school curriculum conform with modern trends in education, a move geared toward harnessing the benefits of education in the state. Briggs further stated that Governor Okpebholo has taken further steps to ensure that no child of school age is left behind. He's building schools, recruiting more teachers, and providing the right environment for learning.
Well, thank you for that report, Godwin. We move on now with this report. Operatives of the Lagos State Police Command on Friday arrested 2 more suspects allegedly involved in the abduction of Mrs. Folashade Odumosun, the wife of a former Assistant Inspector General of Police, Hakeem Odumosun. The suspects are 27-year-old Agbojile Smart and Keleke Michael, 30. They were arrested by operatives of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police Special Squad. This was confirmed in a statement issued at the force headquarters in Abuja by the force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi. The Nigeria Police Force, via its Facebook handle, noted that 2 locally fabricated rifles, 11 live cartridges, and 2.25 million naira were recovered from the suspects.
Nigerians in the diaspora have petitioned the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, over passport printing in Atlanta and New York consulate in the United States of America. To this effect, the minister has approved and directed the Nigerian Immigration Service to immediately deploy new printers to the passport offices in both cities. These printers, according to him, are ready for installation. The short-term solution, he said, aims to resolve the current challenge promptly. In a statement, the minister said that there is a new solution being implemented as a long-term plan that will usher in a streamlined passport regime, enabling Nigerians to apply for their passport with more ease. Part of this plan includes the activation of a passport personalization center in Abuja, which is scheduled to start in the next few weeks, while also opening up more countries for the already deployed contactless solution.
Well, let's take you to Oyo State now, where government has signed an agreement with contractors for the execution of a 68-kilometer rural access road project under the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAAMP. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Olasukomi Olaleye, signed Phase 1 of the contract agreement with the contractors on Friday in Ibadan. In his address, Olaleye explained that signing the RAAMP interventions comprised a backlog of maintenance and rehabilitation and cross-drainage structures. According to him, RAAMP is a major rural transport intervention project funded by the federal government and development partners like the World Bank and the French Development Agency. According to the commissioner, one of the project's objectives is the provision of improved all-weather access to road networks of 8.0 meters width in selected and prioritized rural development areas. Others he mentioned include rehabilitation and upgrading and repairs of selected prioritized river crossings throughout the state and improvement of access to transport services for the state's rural population, among others.
A magistrate court sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, has remanded a 32-year-old man at the Olokute Correctional Center for allegedly killing his 68-year-old father. The suspect, Sunday Abilewa, who was arraigned before the court for murder, allegedly strangled his father, Abu Abilewa, to death over failure to buy him a motorcycle. Abilewa allegedly committed the crime at the residence of his father in a burial quarters, Iswa, Akoko South East local government area of the state on December 31, 2024. According to the prosecutor, Inspector Abdulateef Suleiman, the offense contravened Section 316 and was punishable under Section 319 of the Criminal Code Cap 37, Volume 2 Laws of Ondo State, 2006.
Well, health matters now. The Edo State government on Friday said there is a new outbreak of Lassa fever in the state and called on the people to report any suspected case. The State Commissioner for Health, Cyril Shomole, stated this at a press conference in Benin, the state capital. He also urged improvement in hygienic conditions to reduce the presence of rodents, particularly long-mouthed rats, which are the major carriers. While announcing the outbreak, Oshomole disclosed that the government has activated the incident management structure and appointed Ekaite Tobi of Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital as the state Lassa fever incident manager for the 2025 outbreak response.
The Lagos State Ministry of Information and Strategy, led by Commissioner Gbenga Omotosho, hosted a joint citizen engagement forum in Alausa, Lagos on Friday. The event provided an opportunity for journalists, stakeholders, and government officials to dialogue on key state issues. VOPTV correspondent Matthew Ogunswada brings us the details.
Transparency and encourage active citizen participation, the Lagos State Ministry of Information and Strategy organized a joint citizen engagement forum in Alausa, Lagos. The forum brought together journalists, stakeholders, and government officials, creating a platform for discussions on crucial policy matters and state development.
When cars break down along Lekki, Ikorodu and all that, so migrants come to demand for money. That's to help you to either push, to help you to either whatever. So what's the government doing?
I want to task the Lagos State government to look into a way to regulate these agents, to stop them from extorting Lagosians.
What is the government doing towards getting rural community libraries, ensuring that their computers with internet access and instructors?
The Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho, responded to various concerns raised by journalists, including issues of government accountability, project implementation, public welfare, and infrastructure development.
There are so many things that true Lagosians will not do, but there are times you find visitors or people who just want to sabotage the system misbehaving. And part of such people are people who go onto those bridges to remove railings, to remove lamps, to dig holes on roads so that there could be traffic jam for people to be able to up their goods. These are very terrible human behaviors that shouldn't be found among the true Lagosians.
Concluding the session, the Special Advisor to the Governor of Media and Publicity, Gboyega Akoshile, alongside the Commissioner for Information, highlighted the state's achievements and reassured citizens of ongoing efforts to meet their expectations in 2025.
2025 is going to be a very exciting year for Lagosians because in 2025, with the budget, that Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has just signed into law, we're going to be having a lot of infrastructural development. We're going to be constructing new roads. We're going to be having new hospitals. We're going to be having a lot of capacity building, for people in Lagos. There's going to be a lot more of youth-oriented programs.
There are so many things that Lagosians will be expecting. Technical education, we are going to do more in that. In that, I've told you what we are doing. In transportation, we are going to have more trains running on our tracks, getting more trains for the blue line, getting more trains for the red line. We are already doing that. They are being packaged in China, and they very soon will be moved to Lagos. So there are so many new things. We are going to build some housing estates to, cushion the effect of the housing shortage. About 2 weeks ago, we signed an agreement with Access Bank for us to build an estate. So there are so many things in all sectors. Exciting times are here.
With this forum, the Lagos State Ministry of Information and Strategy has reaffirmed its commitment to fostering collaboration and enhancing public engagement in Lagos. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People TV.
All right, interesting report there from Matthew Ogunswada. All right, coming up next, business.
Welcome back. Some business news now. Nigeria's inaugural domestic dollar-denominated bond has contributed a substantial 1.47 trillion naira to the nation's total domestic debt. Latest domestic debt report from the Debt Management Office (DMO) has shown the bond accounts for 2.12% of Nigeria's total domestic debt stock, which stood at 69.22 trillion naira as of the 30th of September 2024. Its issuance represents a milestone in the federal government's strategy to diversify funding sources and attract foreign investment. Unlike naira-denominated instruments, this dollar bond offers investors a unique opportunity to participate in Nigeria's economy while mitigating the currency risks associated with naira volatility. This comes as the federal government, through the Debt Management Office (DMO), announced plans to raise 450 billion naira in its January 2025 bond auction. This represents a notable increase from the 360 billion naira offered in January 2024 and the 120 billion naira issued in December 2024. The initiative is a strategic move to address the fiscal deficit, fulfill financial obligations, and provide attractive investment opportunities for both institutional and individual investors. The January auction features a blend of reopened and new bond issuances, thoughtfully designed to appeal to a diverse range of investors.
Nigerian citizens under the umbrella of the Citizens Network for Peace and Development in Nigeria (CNPD) have expressed support for the tax reform bill, asserting that it is beneficial to the masses as it will enable the government to focus on the needs of the underprivileged. The group, with members spanning all 6 geopolitical zones, endorsed the bill following a roundtable conference in Abuja. In a communique issued after the conference, CNPD praised the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the proposed tax regime, highlighting that the bill would reduce the tax burden on the poor while ensuring that funds are directed towards public services that benefit marginalized communities. Presenting the communique in Abuja on Friday, CNPD National Coordinator Okori Ikechukwu Raphael emphasized that the bill was designed to protect vulnerable members of society and ensure that wealthier individuals and entities contribute more proportionally.
Well, sports news now, and we begin with the Cricket World Cup. After scaling through the group stages of the 2025 ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup in Malaysia, Nigeria's junior female Yellow Greens are aware it's the least of their target as they dream of reaching the semi-finals on their debut. Further tests against England and Ireland await them in the Super 6. The junior female Yellow teams, or Greens, ended their group campaign with a 41-run DLS method defeat against South Africa on Wednesday, but their historic 2-run win over New Zealand on Monday, as well as a share of points against Samoa, was more than enough to see them through as the second-best team in Group C. Although their last game against South Africa was nervy, they have proven that they are rarely underdogs in cricket, upsetting giants New Zealand in their second game. They were initially scheduled to play Samoa in their opening game, but that was washed out by the rain. They finished second in Group C behind South Africa, and both teams now form the Group 2 of the Super 6 stage.
Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen, who currently stars for Galatasaray, has been embroiled in a controversy following an alleged altercation with a journalist. According to a report from Turkish media outlet Posta, the prolific forward allegedly assaulted the journalist at the exit of the entertainment venue he went to with his friends in Turkey. The situation escalated when the striker, seemingly annoyed by the presence of a reporter, reacted aggressively. Neither Galatasaray nor Osimhen has released an official statement addressing the incident. Osimhen has been remarkable with Galatasaray with 15 goals and 6 assists already this season for the Turkish Giants.
Well, some entertainment news now. Rapper Odumodu Black has offered his perspective on the ongoing conflicts between artists and their record labels, stating that the common narrative of artists being victims is not always accurate. In a recent interview, he pointed out that disputes often arise from personal differences between artists and label executives rather than systemic issues within the industry. He stressed that business relationships are influenced by human traits, which can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. Odumodu Black cautioned against portraying record labels as villains, noting that some artists make unreasonable demands and become difficult to manage after gaining fame. He reminded artists to recognize the investments and efforts made by their labels in shaping their careers.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has withdrawn the arrest warrant against the manager of gospel singer Mercy Chinwo, Ezekiel Thank God. The development comes today after a bench warrant against the music producer was issued by Justice Alexander Owoye last week. The bench warrant was on the heels of an ex-parte order filed by the EFCC. According to the latest report, the commission, through its lawyer Bilikisu Buhari, requested that the warrant be withdrawn. Mercy Chinwo accused her manager of diverting $345,000 in royalties from digital platforms and events. The artist claims that he received the funds without proper disclosure and did not remit her rightful share.
Well, that wraps it up for us on the news at 9. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. First, we told you that President Tinubu has appointed board chairpersons for 42 parastatals.
Senate committee lists retired generals or the elite as illegal minors.
Also, we brought you the report that 245 passengers escaped death as U.S.-bound plane declares emergency and returns to Lagos.
Government backing telcos for revenue neglecting Nigerians, says NLC.
And Tinubu commends Finland for Simon Ekpa's arrest.
In business, the first domestic dollar bond swells Nigerians' debt by 1.47 trillion naira.
And in entertainment news, why record labels aren't to blame for disputes with artists, that's coming from Odumodu Black.
And in sports, junior female Yellow Greens brace for Super 6. And do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. I am Jerry Appiah.
I'm Vivian Oguche. Good evening.